Have you ever wondered why some habits are so easy to pick up, but feel just impossible to break? Well, it turns out there's a real science behind it all. Today, we're going to dive deep into the hidden forces that shape our everyday lives, and we'll be using the amazing work of Charles Duhigg as our guide.
So let's kick things off with a bit of a mystery. Meet Lisa Allen. On the left, you see her deep in debt, overweight, a heavy smoker. Just a few years later, though, she's running marathons, she's debt-free, and she's got a booming career. So how on earth does a transformation that radical even happen? Well, it wasn't some giant leap. It was all about the power of changing just one habit at a time.
You know, it all boiled down to a single decision. Lisa was on the trip to Cairo, and she just hit absolute rock bottom. And in that moment, she decided she was going to trek across the Egyptian desert. Now, to even have a prayer of surviving something like that, she knew she had to tackle one thing first. She had to quit smoking.
And that one decision, quitting smoking, it set off this incredible cascade of positive change. See, Lisa's transformation wasn't some kind of accident. She had, without even knowing it, tapped into this fundamental pattern in our brains that pretty much governs our lives. It's a pattern called the habit loop. So what in the world is the habit loop? Well, it's a really simple, three-step process our brain uses to turn a bunch of actions into an automatic routine. You can think of it as your brain's ultimate efficiency shortcut. It's the reason you can drive to work or brush your teeth without really thinking about every single tiny little move. Okay, so the loop has three parts. First up, you've got the cue. This is the trigger that basically tells your brain, hey, time to go on autopilot. It could be anything, a time of day, a place, even a feeling. Next comes the routine, which is the actual behavior itself. And finally, you get the reward. That's the little bit of positive feedback that tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's remember this whole loop for next time.
But here's the secret sauce that really makes this loop spin: craving. As Duhigg points out, it isn't just about getting the reward, it's the anticipation of the reward that really drives us. Your brain starts craving that hit of sugar, or the feeling of distraction, or that jolt of nicotine. And that's what makes the loop so powerful and so automatic.
So understanding the mechanics is one thing, right? But how do you actually go about changing a bad habit? Well, this is where we get to what's called the golden rule of habit change. And it's a surprisingly simple way to redesign these automatic loops.
The big idea is this: you don't try to fight the cue, and you don't pretend you don't want the reward. Instead, you keep the cue the same, you give yourself the same reward, but you consciously swap in a new routine. You're not trying to destroy the habit loop, you're just re-engineering it. Let's make this a little more real. Okay, let's say you have a habit of grabbing a cookie every afternoon. Your cue is the time, 3:30 p.m. The routine is going and getting that cookie. And the reward? That little sugar rush and a quick break from work. But what if the reward you're actually craving isn't the sugar, but the distraction? Well, you could keep that 3:30 cue, but change the routine to, say, walking over to a friend's desk for a 10-minute chat. You get the exact same reward, a break and some social time, but just skip the cookie.
Now, changing a routine is tough, for sure. And there's one more piece of the puzzle that makes a huge difference: belief. The research is totally clear on this. When you try to change as part of a group, like with Alcoholics Anonymous, or even just a gym buddy, your odds of success shoot way up. Believing you can do it is essential, and that shared experience can be the real tipping point.
And get this, these principles don't just apply to you and me. The very same habit loops can completely transform huge organizations. And this is where we start to see the incredible power of what Duhigg calls keystone habits. Okay, picture this. It's 1987, and Paul O'Neill just became the CEO of the giant aluminum company Alcoa. At his very first meeting with Wall Street investors, the people expecting to hear all about profits and strategy, he gets up and says, "I want to talk to you about worker safety." The room was just stunned. Investors literally thought he was some kind of crazy hippie and immediately told their clients to sell their stock. But here's the crazy part. O'Neill's obsession with that one thing, worker safety, had this amazing ripple effect. To improve safety, Alcoa had to totally overhaul how they communicated and how their factories ran. And the result? By the time O'Neill retired, the company's annual net income was 5 times higher than when he started. Worker safety became their keystone habit. So what exactly is a keystone habit? Well, it's a habit that kicks off a chain reaction and causes these huge, widespread shifts. They're these small changes that just sort of spill over into other parts of your life, making it way easier for other good habits to stick. I mean, think about things like exercising every day, or making your bed in the morning, or having family dinners. So how do they work?
Well, keystone habits build momentum by giving us small wins, which builds our confidence. They also help build new structures and cultures, just like at Alcoa, where great communication suddenly became the norm. And finally, they make change contagious, creating an environment where getting better is just what everyone does. All right, so understanding all this power brings us to a really, really deep question. If our lives are so heavily run by these automatic loops, how much control do we actually have? And are we always responsible for the things we do out of habit? Let's look at the stark contrast between two real-life court cases. On one side, you have Brian Thomas, who, tragically, killed his wife while he was in the middle of a night terror, a kind of sleepwalking. The court found him not guilty, saying he acted unconsciously. But then on the other side, you have Angie Bachman, a compulsive gambler, who lost everything she had. The court held her responsible for all of her debts. This whole tension is just perfectly captured by the psychologist William James, who said, "All our life is but a mass of habits, bearing us irresistibly toward our destiny." It really can feel like our habits are this unstoppable force, can it? The question is, are we really the ones driving? So here's the thing I want to leave you with. If we now know that habits aren't destiny, that they can be diagnosed and changed, does that make us responsible for them? I mean, a court said Thomas wasn't, but that Bachman was. Both of them were in the grip of a powerful habit. It really makes you wonder, where does the automatic habit end and where does our choice truly begin?